Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we're going to do a roster review. So let's jump into it. The roster review for today is with Christian Wayfinder with Fortuna Favors the Bold. He's also really active in my Discord. He's I don't know, a big fan of Egnards, I guess. So his C Michael Scott squared on our Discord, so very active there. So he's 8.3 million GP, 4.7 in characters, 3.5 in ships, 8,600 galactic war battles. So just under 2 years. Wow. I don't know why I expected more time played. So that's pretty good. GP to time played wise, a very good balance. So 5 GLs. A bit of a slacker here with the R8 JML. Like if I had a choice to R9 Leia and JML, I would probably R9 JML. Like R8 Leia performs quite well, but the difference of performance here to almost get a third more offensive power and survivability on your JML is worth more than the amount of health you would get. But you know, both are tanks, both benefit for it. It's kind of crappy now because there's so many R9 things out there. Because before there was like three, so you had Radis, you had the two Malik and Darth Revan that were like the mandatory R9s, and then you had JML as the fourth R9 that you really should do, and then if a close second or close fifth, I guess, would be Leia. But right now we have the Jedi team, we have Ahsoka Tano. So now, when I say Jedi team, I mean Master Qui-Gon, Padawan, Obi-Wan. We have a new raid that's extremely difficult in a lot of ways that we're going to get our raid participation is just like maxing out those teams that are good, because there's like almost no flexibility in it right now. So a little unfortunate that you missed the train on it. I don't know if I would even advocate right now to be like, hey, you need to get R9 your JML. It is one more relic level, but right now that one relic level could go to you know, Queen Amidala, Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan. The materials can go to the Gungans. They can go to a lot of different things that, you know, depending on what you're doing, you may want to just spend them elsewhere. But I would say, like, honestly, I would rather you R9 like Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan, or if you're going to go for Ahsoka, just hit those requirements first. Or even right now, I will say Sith Empire with the Leviathan, that stock on that ship is way up because we're probably not going to get another ship until at the very earliest I would predict is March of 2025. So a lot of requirements that require R9 that is not JML. So you know, you're just gonna have to live with your luster lacking JML, and I'm sure it's gonna be just fine. It's unfortunate that you didn't prioritize it earlier, because you may just have missed the train on it right now. All right, so a good amount of stuff. So five GLs, 2 GL ships. You have the Scythe. So I like it. Do you have Third Sister here? I don't see her with this with these new skins on the icons. I I may have missed it. I don't know. It's pretty hard right now for me to just like look at things at a glance and be like, there it is. But all right, so you're still working on Riva. I would say even before Riva, as long as you have the Scythe, then the payout is there for Inquisitors. And you know, like, someone has to do it early so that the guild can get it. So you just happen to be that someone. I will say this. What are you doing with this, buddy? What are you doing? So if you have the Scythe, let's look at your Empire fleet. So you have the Chimera, you have the TIE Interceptor, you have the relics necessary to have a Leviathan counter. But instead of having a Leviathan counter, you say nay. You say no. You say I still lose to Executor sometimes because my Iden just dies. That's what you say. So what I say to you, good sir, relic up your Iden, like relic 5. Don't be selfish. If you can, 6 daughter mods, but like if you get her abilities up and running, she is worth it, especially now that you have the scythe. Having that Leviathan counter is very important, especially if you, because if I had your ships, I probably would throw Executor and Profundity on defense together, and that would be my premium defense, is just having those two and then hoping that my opponent can't clear them both. Because if you just throw like Executor down on there, like pretty good chance that 100% in Kyber they're just going to clear that. But if you throw Profundity and Executor down, then you start having some RNG for your opponent, and then you have some possibilities. I will say this, your fleets are not that good overall, like in my opinion. You're really mid, and I'll explain why. So you have a 6-star Malevolence. You're really stingy with those Chirotechs. Just take them to 7 stars. Yeah, 6 stars. So you have them at Relic 7, but you only have a Relic 5 General Kenobi. You have 5 stars on Executor. You don't have a Relic Iden. I think the only thing here that's like fully developed, like a ready to go, fully functional top end ship would be your Profundity, and that's pretty much it. And sadly enough, your home one, which is not good. So overall, like I think you do need to invest more in your ships, and that'll pay dividends. So if you want to compete at the highest levels, because you have 6 or 5 GLs, you have a good foundation, and your ships or your fleets are okay. And I think you may feel that way. And maybe what you do, and honestly, if I had your account, I think I would have to go with the ground defense, and I would just take the Executor Profundity Chimera on offense and just cheese my defense with like Negotiator, Malevolence, I don't know, home one or something, and just do that way. Like you give your opponents fleets, but you also go in with the meta and you can win cleanly. It's just you're gonna have to boost up your Chimera or your Iden, and that would probably be the best way. And no matter what they put on defense, if you bring Chimera, Executor, Profundity, you'll be able to clean it. It's not as clean as having like Leviathan, Executor, Profundity, for those who just go like full offense with their ships, because the Leviathan just has pretty much 100% win rate against the Leviathan. There's a way to cheese any comp, but Chimera can lose, like it can. So I would bring in something that can clean up a Leviathan if the Chimera just kind of like fails. But if you bring Executor, Profundity, Chimera, then you're probably in a pretty good position. And then Negotiator, Malevolence, whatever, on Radis or something on defense. And, you know, like it's just more of an efficiency thing. And then you're going to have to go in with your ground and just have a strong ground defense. I would like to see JMK here. Like if you had a JMK, that would really round out at least your fleets, and then your GLs, like, or GL Ahsoka, Gungans. I think I don't know exactly what you're going to do. And here, let's normally I don't do this, but you said you wrote something here in my Discord. So let's pull that up. All right, so you gave me your whole farming pathway for some reason. So good for you. I can see your I can see your what you have. I don't need to know the order that you did it. Geomods. Okay, apparently proving grounds away from Catmull, Malgus, Trent Scythe, Dat Bob. You're a spender, not actively farming any journeys. Roster balancing. Naboo. Or so back then you didn't have your Inquisitors. So you finished your Inquisitors since you've last. So that was pretty quick. I hope you do get it soon. Let's look at your Night Sisters, Because you said you're working on that Marin. All right. So you don't have your investment. So if you wanted to, you can make this fully functional by just throwing some Zetas on 2 on Mother Talzin, 1 on Daka, 1 on Marin at least. Throw the Omicron. This is a fully functional team. Is it a high priority for me right now for your account? Probably not. I would say no. It's not. Grievous. So you got Grievous up. You got Thrawn up. Okay, so add Iden and Padme is what, from what you've shown me, what you're working on. So did you finish Padme? No, you're working on Padme currently. All right. Do you have her Datacron? You do. So I'll say this: like Padme Datacron is pretty mid without JMK. Like it's pretty good on offense. It can do some decent things, but you know, like I would finish Padme since you already invested everything into it. And then you can make like Cat May or something. Cat with Padme, and that's a decent offensive team. It can take out some JMKs. But let's look at your Sith Empire. Non-existent. Non-existent. Old Republic. So you have an Old Republic. So nowhere near. You're nowhere near Malgus. Okay. So let's look at your Imperial Troopers. Okay, interesting. Empire. Alright. So Jabba will get you the Bounty Hunters one. So I think you're missing CT3 for one of the for the Empire one, right? I don't think maybe you can probably do CT2 with what you have here. Not a huge big deal if you don't want to invest in it right away, but I'm sure Agnards has already pointed this out to you, but you can get a fully functional Imperial Trooper team with just Gear 12 Range Trooper, Gear 12 Stark, and then R5 Dark Trooper, and that'll get that last assault battle done for you. It's a good team. I still use it. I use them. They can take out tons of stuff. Sith Empire without Malgus, which you probably don't see all that much anymore. I can take out Bounty Hunters. It could what else can they take out? Generally, I use them in TW to clean up or to kill Geos. They clean up GLs. So Lord Vader is a solid cleanup with Imperial Troopers. So I would say if you wanted to, like R5 Dark Trooper, Gear 12 Colonel Stark, Gear 12 Dark Range Trooper, and it's still worth it to get that up as a side farm. Because I do like having all the assault battles. If you have the Empire one already with whatever you have, then you don't have to do that. But I would say it's a good fit. Are you farming? Huh. Are you farming Aphra? Why do you have a Son of Staros there? Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Aphra, to be completely honest. So to each their own. To each their own. Okay, I don't think so. You just have Son of Staros here for some reason. I wouldn't invest more into her personally. All right, so what I would do is looking at your bounty hunters. Like this is unsatisfactory right here. You need to take him up to relics. I do personally like on the ship at least like 180 speed. I think is good for Razor Crest, and 181 for Xanadu Blood is what I aim for. But right now you have not a fully functional Executor. It looks like you just got it, but it's 5 stars, so you need to put a little more investment into it. Oh man, you need to farm your pilotless ships, to be completely honest with you too. You need to farm this BTLB Y-Wing for your negotiator. So a lot of these are just like side farms. So the Emperor Shuttle is still a good ship. So just side farms, you really do need to put more effort into these ships. I'm not a big fan of what you're doing here. And honestly, I don't know how you got like a 7-star scythe, but a 5-star TIE Interceptor, to be complete. I guess you couldn't do the TIE Interceptor fight, but you could do the scythe one. Interesting enough. and now you're figuring it out, I guess, is probably what happened there. So overall, not a big fan of your Radis fleet. Actually, is okay, but not really happy with what's going on here. To be completely honest, like farm your ships, especially your pilot ships. There's no reason where you are in the game to not have all your pilotless ships farmed. All right, that's enough on ships though. Like farm but Bam needs to be your #1 priority. To be honest, Bam and Iden. So I would add them to that list of side farms that you're doing. Like I said, I see Marin here. I wouldn't prioritize Marin, but I would I don't, yeah, I would get Bam up to relics, and I probably would have done Bam and Iden before Padme, to be completely honest, because it's not like your Galactic Republic team right now is like really popping. You know, it's like Padme really doing anything for you. And you're probably like, well, I want to capitalize on the Datacron, but you know, like what do you have to go with this? Because in GAC, like Qui-Gon takes all your Galactic Republic Jedi, and then who are you gonna put with Padme? It's not, you don't have a Gidme, you don't have a good squad. Even with Padmecron, I would still rather have like two teams. So overall, not really pleased with this Padme, to be completely honest with you, as your priority. It's too late now because you just need like one piece right here, and this is why I say I don't like putting Gear 12 pieces on a character until you hit that upgrade button, because I think you really should pivot and put this gear on Iden or Bam instead of Padme. And then I honestly don't think, like, yeah, if you want to do CT3 for Night Sisters, you can, but it's going to take a lot of Zetas too to get that up and running. If you want to just finish out all your assault battles, you can do that, but overall, I would say what you should do is I think you're in a good place to go for JMK, to be completely honest with you, or GL Ahsoka if that's what you want to do. But I think in your account, what you have right now with 2 GLs, 5 GLs, 2 GL ships, I think JMK would fit really nicely in your account. I do think C is probably going to get a Lightspeed bundle sometime soon, so I wouldn't prioritize him. Who knows? You can have him to be like your second last GL or something if that's the case, and then Lord Vader is last in GL Ahsoka, wherever you want to put her in there. But I will say this, like, I think you're primed to get that. You can, if you want to. Do you have, where is it at? So it looks like you're waiting for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. No, you're finishing Saw. Yeah, so getting Jedi Knight Cal Kestis would be a good, you're almost there. So I would do this. I would fix Bam, Iden. I would finish relicking up Padme. If you want to do Marin, you can do Marin. I would finish Saw. I would get Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and I would take him and Seer to R7 for Zepho. From there, you said you're pretty close to Malicos and all them. You can get that light side, or you can get that Ufu team up and running. I would say it's not a priority as much as going for JMK maybe. I know JMK doesn't have a great return of investment, but he's an excellent GL. I think where you are right now, like JML would do a lot for your account in GAC, like as a premium defense or just a premium offense. I think overall, like what you have right now, that would probably be the best thing that you can farm, other than passively getting your conquest characters, Riva, and you're like light years away from the Leviathan. I don't think the Leviathan is right for you right now, but once you finish like JMK and once you finish JMK and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, maybe you can start working towards the Leviathan. Or if you are really close to unlocking Malgus, that would be a good, like I said, right now, the Leviathan is going to be the top of the meta for a long time. And if you feel like you can unlock him in the next like 3-4 months, I think you'll have a good amount of time where he'll still be the top of the meta, but you're pretty far away from it. So I would start passively farming all the ships like the Sith fighter Mark 6 Interceptor, B2, BTLB, Y-Wing, and I would prioritize those. Because once you get Malgus and his ship, you're going to be and you'll have to like farm Malak and Darth Revan and all that, but that's a pretty easy farm. But I think overall, you'll be in a good position to start farming for that soon after you finish your next big farm. So if you go like, if you round out the teams that we talked about, your fleets, Bam, Iden, Padme, Marin, if that's what you want to do, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, into JMK, or you can go Gungans. It's up to you. I would say, as soon as, also as a side farm, as soon as Master Qui-Gon is available to farm, you should prioritize Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan as your farms, because those two, their assault battle is really good. They're really useful. They're honestly really, really useful in the raid, and you can use these two Jedi to round out either, you know, your Qui-Gon team or your Padme team, because you just don't have enough there. Oh, you do have Cat. So if you wanted to go like Padme, Cat, Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan, whatever else, a tank or something, General Kenobi, and then Qui-Gon can take the rest, then that would be a really good team actually. So you can do that. But you'll have to just double farm, triple farm Master Qui-Gon whenever that comes out. I'm taking them to Relic 7 or Relic 9 personally. You can take them to Relic 7, but their assault battle is really good. So as soon as those, I honestly, to me in this game right now, Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan are the most important team to farm currently. Once Master Qui-Gon becomes farmable, and Padawan Obi-Wan is a Cantina farm. So you can round out your teams, get Jedi Knight Cal Kestis for Zepho while you're finishing off Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan, and then go for those. But by the time you finish like Bam, Iden, Padme, you will probably be ready to go for Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan, and I would get them before you get Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. Like if you're on the fence, you're like, oh, I can relic up these guys because I have the shards for them, or I can do I can get Zepho ready. I would probably do Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan because they're for the raid. But if you're still waiting on shards and you're not ready, then you can finish off that Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. But I would say 100% like start side farming your fleets, start side farming those Sith Empire, side farm your BTLB, Y-Wing, start and then finish off those characters that we mentioned, Bam, Iden. If you want Marin, honestly, to be completely honest with you, since you have Phoenix, you have like CT2, I would not prioritize Night Sisters whatsoever for you right now. Like nowhere near my radar. You can if you have the Zetas, but who has the Zetas? You know what I mean? I think I would probably cut Night Sisters for right now until after you finish your side farms that you're doing. You have your fleets ready as far as you fully fleshed out that Chimera fleet, and then you fully fleshed out your Executor, and then you finish Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and you finish off this Quadme team, which you know eventually you'll get Quadme and Padme. Then you can side farm Marin if you want to and do that assault battle, and then you can move on to JMK is probably what I would do. Or instead of JMK, you can do GL Ahsoka if you want to just get the newest thing. So I would say if you're willing to go for GL Ahsoka, that's the pathway I would choose, is GL Ahsoka after all that. But if you're not willing to go for like the latest and greatest, and you're just not gonna, you know, kind of like soft whale or hard whale on that stuff, then I would do JMK while farming the GL Ahsoka requirements, and then do GL Ahsoka after that. So, all in all, let's it was kind of a lot, so let's summarize what I'm saying you should do. So side farm immediately. Start side farming your ships, like the Sith Empire ships, the BTL Y-wing. That should be your immediately. Padme, Bam, Iden. Like no matter what, finish those three. That's gonna round out your executor. That's gonna round out your Chimera, and then Padme, you invested so much into her. You have the Kron. You just need to unlock her and take her to Relic 5 or something. It's perfectly fine. Not a priority for me, but just because you invested so much into her, that's just what you have to do. Once Master Qui-Gon becomes farmable, then I would start prioritizing Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan, as long as Padawan Obi-Wan, like I would kind of gauge where you're going to finish them both at the same time, since you don't want to waste your Cantina energy to rush Padawan Obi-Wan. So I wouldn't do that right away. But depending on the shards for that, you can go for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis before them and finish Seer to R7 and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis to R7 first. Or if you finish Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon first, and you have their shards ready, then I would take them to R7 before you do Zepho. So either or, once you finish those, you can go for either JMK or Geo Ahsoka, whichever one you want. I personally would probably go JMK. Once I finish JMK, I would probably finish off those two assault battles as far as the Night Sister one and the Imperial Trooper one. And then I would go into Geo Ahsoka is what I would recommend. So you can do whatever you want, but that's the farming pathway that I would choose for you based on what you have here. So let's look at your mods. So I peeked at these. This is fine. Really good health, decent speed. So decent mods on Leia. So you have lackluster protection, not because the mods are bad, but because he's R8, and it sucks that one relic level is that much of a difference. I would say this. I would prefer you have 10% protection here on the diamond and the squares, and that's what I aim for. It's nice to have some potency here too, because I think your potency is really crappy. So I try to aim as close as I can to 100% potency, because like his abilities are pretty good, like ability blocks, removing turn meter, days. So I like 100%. I would get his potency up like as much as you can, and then his protection is okay. Like you do want that 10% here and 10% here, and then once you can take him to R9, not a priority whatsoever right now. Finish your priority R9s first. So Malak, Darth Revan, Ahsoka would be my priorities. And maybe also Padawan Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, I would R9 them before I R9 JML. I am going to R9 them before, because you just like miss the train on this, and they give you more income, and more income is better overall than just having, a banger JML, personally. All right, so decent health, decent speed, no tenacity. So I don't know what you're really aiming for here. Just, I guess, health and some speed. So I'll say this: your mod depth, as far as you're just like, hey, they have speed, they have the right primaries, right sets, or okay primaries, okay sets, and then that's just what you go for. But GLs require better secondary stats. They require your best mods. And for Jabba, I like tenacity. So I like, health, decent speed, and tenacity is what I aim for. I even go with the tenacity primary here. Like, this is okay, pretty lackluster. Flat stats, a little bit of tenacity, really crappy speed. But like, I do try to aim for a little more tenacity. You don't have to if you don't want to. Like, his health is fine, he's fine. But I think when GLs are just so stat hungry that sometimes you just want the best. So I don't like this, to be completely honest with you. So I looking at the stats here, I'm gonna say the mods are pretty lackluster. So the damage is okay, that's fine. But if I was gonna have barely okay levels of damage, I would expect you to have like over 200k health. So if you had like 200k health and 10k damage, this would be fine. But the fact that you have so little health means I don't know if you're going with like, and you have low speed too. So I'm gonna look and see, but I don't know where the stats are. You know, like do you have a speed arrow or just like super low speed with offense primary with no offense secondaries on the circle or the diamond or something? And I don't know, but let's dive in and see. So yeah, so stuff like this, you need offense secondaries here as well as speed. So if it's health primary, you're going to want speed, decent speed. So the speed is fine, but all these other stats are useless, like absolutely useless. You need I try to aim for at least 5% offense on everywhere that doesn't have an offense primary is the goal. So like this is okay. Like you can have like up to 2 offense primaries. This can be worked on a little more. Honestly, I wouldn't have 6 dot this one because it doesn't really hit my speed thresholds of what I find to acceptable because it's 4 hits at 15, which is really crappy. So you'll like this eventually should go away and or you can keep it here forever, I guess, but it's just not good. It's really lackluster. So as you can see, no health here. So the best way to get, and then really low health here. So you want offense percent here. So, and then no health here. So you really need, like, Ray just demands good mods. And ideally, like the best sets are if you can get like health primary with 5-6% offense and then 20 plus speed. And I know that's like hard, right? That's hard because if you look at it, you know, if you sacrifice like 2-3% health here for you know, like 13% more health, like that's where you can really, health primaries are the best primary, and then offense secondaries you can get like 5-6-7% offense secondaries on there, and then whew, now you're cooking. And then you to round off the missing, you know, few percentage points for having not perfect rolls on there, you get offense here, you get offense here, and that extra like 10 to 12% offense here helps round out the health primaries. And then that's how you get really good health primaries here, and then good damage as well. But your speed, like honestly, I don't care about speed that much, but your speed is still really slow. Like this is not a good mod. Maybe you can give it to like Sith Trooper or something. Like this one and this one I would give to Sith Trooper and then try to find better mods. And then sooner or later, if you can find like a better mod than this, then I would replace it too. But this is okay. Like it's not the worst. So that's yeah, that's what I would do for your Ray. All right, let's look at your SOKR. So you have a protection primary on your circle. I'm just there's no way that, unless you just have like no health secondaries anywhere else, this looks like you have a protection primary on the circle. Otherwise, like the speed is okay. I do it for 580, 575 is fine. Damage is okay, but your overall, the survivability on this is really low. Yeah, see, called it. I called it. Protection primary. You need a health primary here. You need it. Need it. 100%. Health primary here, and then offense percent, same thing. Like you want to aim for like 5% and then as good a speed as you can. This is okay. This is good. It's not doing much for you other than offense and speed. And on GLs, you still want like health percent, defense percent. You know, he doesn't need crit chance, but flat offense or something. There's stats here. These stats like GLs, you want good mods. And this is what I was saying. Your GL mods should be like the best mods in your account, and you're just like, you're looking at the primary, the set, and then you look at the speed and you're like, yes, this is the mod I want on my GL. And I'm saying no, like no, these are good mods. You can, a lot of other characters can like maximize them, but GLs you want, like some of my mods I have like 16% defense on here, or you know, like tons of health, or you want to like juice up your GLs as much as possible because they have such a huge stat pool and they require stats and you need them to perform, that you want good, like, God mods, the best mods in your account on your GLs. Like, this is okay, but it's still not ideal, believe it or not. So the speed is pretty lackluster. Crit chance is a wash on him. Health is lackluster, and then 6% health. So no offense here, no flat offense, no offense percent. It's not good. So something like this too. Um, you have so many speed arrows in your account, and like, yeah, this has flat offense and offense, 2 hits on offense percent. Is this really the best mod that you could find for SOKR? And honestly, for if I find the right arrow, as I don't mind taking it to 6A if it had all like perfect stats. If it had like flat offense, health percent, offense percent, defense percent, or something for SOKR, I would 6A that baby, and I would try to at least hit all offense and then health percent, and then wherever it lands, it lands. So like that's what you need for your GLs. That's how you juice up their stats. That's what you get out of them. And then something like this, like, this is a better JML mod, to be honest, than the JML you had, and it's not doing that much for SOKR. Like 12% offense, that would be great for JML. 4.8% protection, it's okay. 20 speed is okay, but these stats right here, like, SOKR doesn't care about potency that much. Like, yeah, he puts buff immunity, but his natural potency is like pretty good. It's 130 something, where JML's is like 60. So you really don't have that much of an issue of landing buff immunity on his basic, and a lot of people don't even know he lands buff immunity on his basic. That's how not important it is. So this is 100% like I would put on JML, and you're looking for like health percent here. Defense percent, health percent, flat offense is what he needs. So like, you just have to prioritize the stats of what you're looking for your GLs. And then like this, you're just like, hey, it has speed. That's it. You're just like, hey, it has speed. And GLs aren't about just like, hey, you have speed. What you're looking for is you're looking for offense percent, health percent, defense percent. That's what you're looking for SOKR. Like, honestly, offense percent and health percent, and then maybe flat offense too is fine. But offense percent is huge, like absolutely huge. You want SOKR to be an absolute banger. And you're just like, your GL mods are just really, really overall just you're only chasing speed. That's it. And while speed is important, you need to have like 20 plus speed on all your GL mods. You're not having them be performing at their maximum, and that's why your stats overall, or you're like hurting on your stats here, is because you're only chasing this speed, and that's it. And it's honestly not even like hitting my speed threshold, which is fine. 575, it's going to perform at the way you need it. It's going to outspeed like many GLs, and that's fine. But you're really like, you're barely hitting the threat. Like, this health is really low, and then the damage is like barely hitting the bare minimum threshold that you want. And it's because you're just like, you're only chasing speed, and you should not do that. You should use the best mods in your account. And if you just haven't developed them yet, like, over time you will. You have Jabba, you have the income, or you should have the income, right? What are you getting in your fleet? So it looks like you're getting top 5 every day. You're in Kyber 4. So you have the crystal income to be doing like 3 mod refreshes. You have Jabba, so you're getting Smuggler's Run 2. So you should have the same ability, as long as you're following my mod recommendations of like how to build your mods and having the certain speed thresholds. I saw some mods in here where you chased primaries, and if I looked at your account, I probably would see some ones that don't hit my speed thresholds. But I would say watch my mod farming guide, how to build plus 25 speed mods. Like, implement that into how you build your mods, and statistically you'll have better mods. I don't like how you so I'll say this too. With certain characters that are really important, I like to take them to Relic 7. So like Captain Drogon is a requirement for Relic 7, but if he wasn't, I would take him to Relic 7. Bush Leia, Relic 7. I would take, not Zori, Who else here? Star Killer is a relic 7 in my book. Like a gas is a relic 7. Those important characters that are like you really want them to perform. You really need them to be at relic 7. And again, you're probably farming new things. Like you took Chrysanthemum to relic 7, but Bush Leia is the sword. But like Chrysanthemum is the shield, Bush is the sword. Okay, this is really lackluster. So good on you for not like forcing one. But yeah, your mod, the mod depth that you have is like it's just not good. So good on you on not forcing this, but you'll find a good one. But this is important too. But overall, like relic 5, like if I see a Jabba, like if I see a Jabba and it has a relic 5 bush, I'm like easy day. That's a huge win, because she's just gonna die really easy. But even before SOK Archron, like SOK Archron, you can have like R9s and they're all gonna die the after the poke swipe. But you're on offense, maybe she'll survive long enough, but on defense she's just gonna fold, you know, like so not what you want. And then same thing for Chrysanthemum, protection. You want protection here. He doesn't really care too much about his speed. You want him just to have as much protection. I did put a Omicron on him. I don't regret it. I think it's a fine Omicron. You don't have to, but it just makes him more survivable. But overall, I don't like that. But let's see, 323. So your mod depth is just not there. It's not there. And I think 318. Okay, so it's fine. I'll say this. Like when I'm a return player, right? And as a return player, it took me a long time to get where I needed to be with my mods, because I went like Executor into Leviathan, and then I had to like use tons of crystals to farm all that stuff, right? But overall, I think you're in the place to start catching up on mods. I think, like, so if you're not there right now, which is fine, your speeds aren't good, but as long as you follow my guides and my farming pathway, because I would say a lot of these are like forced, and I'm not going to go into them, but these aren't good. You should not have like pilot mods on Radis. Like Radis is a really good character. He deserves better mods, and all these mods are like super lackluster. So I would say where your mod situation is right now is not good. Like it's really not good, but you're in the position right now. In 6 months or so, you could have like an absolute banger of an account mods wise if you just like watch my guides, implement how I my mod filters, how I farm, use my mod energy. If you with Smuggler's Run 2, and also like you do your 3 mod refreshes every day, you can recover from this. This is 100%, like with the age of your account and just the depth of it, 100%. I think you can get your mods in a much better place. So I'm not going to go too much more into your mods. I'll just say that like you can do better with your mods is all I'll say. And I think you understand that. You want health primary here. His when he pulls it out of the sky, it's based on his health damage, so that's why you want health here. So overall, like good account, you have a lot in there, you have a lot of potential. I gave you my farming pathway. I recommended what I think you should do with your mods. I think you need to farm ships, but like good potential. The foundation is there. You have some holds in your account. I think you understand this. You're working towards it. I don't feel bad about like continuing to farm the new things. Just continue going for them. There's still a lot of things that can give you more income into your account, and I think you should focus on those and then farm whatever you want after that. But I gave you my recommended farming pathway, which has some like flexibility on how you want to do it. But other than that, like, thanks for letting me look at your account. I know this one went like super long for whatever reason, but if you guys have any comments about this account, let me know in the comments. And otherwise, like, thanks for watching and take care, everyone.